fortunately for some of us, there's not an IQ test required to become an elected official. But if that were the case, my friend, Representative Chip Campbell, would have passed with flying colors.
Well, thank you, Gordon.
And now that we've got that out of the way, Chip, you've been in the South Dakota Legislature now for
a few months.
Yeah, and you've had enough time to get a session under your belt. And one of the things that impressed me about your service to the state of South Dakota in the House of Representatives is that from the outside looking in, it appears to me and others who have watched that you hit the ground running.
Well, that's an interesting observation, which I probably would disagree with, but we'll let it lay, and you'll probably get to the bottom of it.
Well,
it's a learning experience, and it's a difficult learning experience, very rewarding experience. I was humbled by the building itself and what had gone on there for a number of years, over 100. And the speed with which the legislature operates.
Well, you know, I recall the early days when I served in the House for a couple of terms and then the Senate for one term. And I recall the first session sitting there looking up at the Speaker of the House and dealing with important issues and thinking, oh my God, what business do I have being here? Because it becomes somewhat overwhelming, doesn't it?
It is, indeed.
And
you are affecting everyone in the state with your vote, and those votes come thick and fast with amendments to bills and the bills themselves, and understanding both what the amendment is doing or attempting to do, in some cases good, in some cases bad, and then the bill itself, whether amended or not amended. It's really an interesting process and a light speed happening.
Yes. When I say you hit the ground running, what my perspective of that is that you got your mind around that process pretty rapidly.
I hope that's true.
Well, I
felt comfortable in my votes, and we did what we could. I made some mistakes, of course, in some of my votes. Absolutely.
You know, you may be the first person ever to admit that on these cameras. So we're going to save that for the archives.
Okay.
Chip, I remarked to someone the other day, and I don't know what your aspirations are, if you even have any in the political sense, but you are someone that I believe would be competent to become the Speaker of the House. And I'm not trying to make you feel good. I'm saying that because of your ability to get your arms around a process and your adherence to some strong core principles.
Having had a session under my belt and seen the mechanics of the House, and being taken to the woodshed by Stace Nelson on a couple of occasions, I might disagree with you, but I appreciate your confidence.
You know, the reality is that as we have that kind of discussion, there's a clear sense that you don't have political aspirations. You're there to do a job.
Exactly. I have never considered myself a politician, and that has a bad connotation in some ways. For some other people, maybe not, but in my mind, being a politician means you are sitting on a fence, and whichever way the wind blows is where you fall. And I hope I am a principled person and have the strength to stick by them.
Well, that's been my observation and the observation of many people who have watched this first session with Representative Chip Campbell. We'll be talking more with Chip as we move forward into the next weeks. We hope you'll stay tuned for that.